yesterday, relatives criticized what they described as a lack of communication during the search.
To put out an immediate media release that they received information since 9 p.m. last night that these boys would be back home within 4 hours. We're now waiting look how many hours. We haven't heard from them. The families have not heard from them. We know they have been rescued. We don't know where they are at this moment. The Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, who I would have reached out to several times this morning, did not provide me with any update whatsoever.
The 6-man crew included 4 Trinidad and Tobago nationals, a Guyanese captain, and a Vincentian fisherman. Maritime personnel from Trinidad and Tobago have arrived in Guyana and are already aiding in search, rescue and recovery efforts as the death toll from the MV Barima ferry disaster continues to rise. In a recent news conference, the Guyanese Prime Minister, retired Brigadier Mark Phillips, announced an additional 5 bodies had been found, bringing the death toll to 65. A major multi-agency and international response is currently underway with support from TNT, Brazil and French Guiana. Authorities say 19 vessels and 3 aircraft are now involved in the operations. Technical teams are working on a complex operation to reposition the sunken vessel to shallow waters.
The current recovery plan involves repositioning the vessel before installing marine salvage airbags, also known as buoyancy balloons, around the wreckage to restore buoyancy. Once afloat, the vessel will be towed closer to the shoreline to facilitate further search and recovery operations.
The MV Barima capsized and sank on Saturday in Guyana. Authorities are investigating claims that the vessel was overloaded with passengers and cargo. The State of Emergency Tribunal has recommended the release of Genevieve Hadid and Star Sabga. The move comes one day after the tribunal also recommended the release of businessman Dominic Hadid. However, all 3 recommendations are being challenged by the state, keeping the trio in detention. The Hadids are also returning to the Court of Appeal today, challenging a High Court decision that refused to fast-track their constitutional case. They are contesting their detention under preventive detention orders issued during the state of emergency, claiming they were targeted because of their race and ethnicity. Last week, the Court of Appeal ordered the couple's release on house arrest, but that decision was stayed pending a final appeal to the Privy Council. The state has also asked the tribunal to withdraw its recommendations, arguing it was not given an opportunity to make submissions before the decision was taken. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
All right, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Today, Thursday, the 23rd of July, 2026. Jason Williams signing on, and there is lots to treat with on this Thursday morning. Now, the Business Guardian, we will get that recap coming up with Anthony. That's around 6:14, 6:15 thereabout. Then Edie Stewart from the Nurses Association, their president. He's going to treat with what is a very pressing matter. And if we go towards, let me show you the page here. If we go towards, yes, page 8, you're seeing that the NCRHA considers legal action against the Nurses Association. So a real back and forth between the NCRHA chairman Dr. Tim Gopi Singh, and President Stewart. They've been going at it for some months now, but we will get the latest from Edie as to this legal action and this 4-hour shift development we're hearing about. So we will peel back the layers on that story. Police and you, Johansson with the mental health matters. We have a great show carded, and well, as per usual, Ian Wason steps in for your morning shot from 7:30 to 8 o'clock. Sports, and I would imagine a World Cup recap. Let's get the ball rolling. See you soon. It's Thursday. It's your Morning Brew. That's right, running into your Thursday the 23rd. And as mentioned, Ian is going to take the seat at 7:30 to 8. I'm sure the World Cup recap will be part of the conversation. And, you know, obviously people still talking about the World Cup 2026, even though the dust is now settled and we have a champion. You know, the debates and the Argentina and Messi and oh goodness me, the arguments continue. But Ian will treat with that later on. Let's head to the front page and see what's happening on this Thursday morning. It is 6 minutes after 6 on this beautiful day, and we give thanks. I trust and hope that all goes well for you today. I know some family members here as it pertains to the fishermen who were out at sea, who were lost at sea. One of the crew members, it's really unfortunate to report that he would have died while receiving treatment. That's Anthony Murray. And we are seeing where Alex would have been rescued at sea. That's Alex on screen. We have the likes of Shannon Mohammed. That's Shannon, also rescued at sea. And another individual by the name of Kevin. Kevin also rescued at sea. And that's the boat there. A really sad situation. And as you know, when it comes to our fisher folk, whether they leave the port of Cedras, whether it's Erin, whether it's Carenage, anywhere on the north coast, right? Down Claxton Bay, you name it. This reminds us all that when you go out there, it's very serious elements we are treating with. And, you know, it's rather unfortunate. So, you know, we're looking at the development with this particular crew and, well, the national tragedy that transpired in Guyana. Really not the best week thereabout for our brothers and sisters who, you know, all those who traverse the waters. So that story, it develops here on page 5, and we extend condolences to the Murray family with the passing of their loved one. I'm seeing where the Hadids are back in court today. That story is on page 6. That story continues to bring every single day new dimensions. Apparently, the minister calls, and this is the Homeland Security Minister, Roger Alexander. He calls for fresh hearings into the Hadid detentions. Alexander says the SOE tribunal breached his right to be heard. So that's part of the story here. I want you to read up all about it. It's on page 6. Inside today's Guardian. Also, the Minister of Homeland Security, Roger Alexander, on page 7, speaks to what he describes as emerging gang conflict in Mova. All right, so the officers there and those via the Northeastern Division are on standby for what he describes as some emerging gang conflict situation there in Mova. That story on page 7. And we're seeing preparations in place. This is the Minister of Local Government, Khadija Amin. She's at the center there, lifting what is, I'm seeing, aluminum flat-bottom boat during a handover ceremony of disaster relief supplies donated by the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. This was given to the ministry there at Trade Zone in San Juan yesterday. Now let's put that up now so folks could see the minister at work. All right, that's a boat literally there, they're lifting. So I guess prepping for we're already in the rainy season, but it's really unfortunate that we will have to use a boat to get out of any particular area. And we all know the areas that are impacted: El Socorro, Woodland, parts of Caroni, parts of the central area, the central basin. Greenvale would have gone through the most some years ago. Since then, we haven't really heard any major happenings on the Greenvale side, but there are certain areas when it comes to flood. Even Diego Martin, they also could recall some years ago the Diego Martin River bursting the banks, and people went to bed the night, and when they get up and put the foot off to go brush the teeth and use the bathroom, right? To go brush your teeth, you realize, wait now, my foot in water? How? So, you know, it's about being proactive as opposed to reactive, and that's what I'm seeing on screen, but it's also about sorting out the issues that cause the said flooding. Granted, the rain, it's unprecedented global warming. It is a reality we have to treat with going forward. But I believe sometimes they could, I mean, the work, I saw some work happening in all fairness. But we just need to be consistent with the work in terms of the dredging and making sure the waterways are clear. And we too as citizens, this can't be all on government. There needs to be a responsibility by us, the citizenry, to ensure we don't dump no mattress and old stove and fridge and bed frame and all kind of paraphernalia close to any kind of waterway. Because plenty times it's the littering and the bad behavior of us, the citizenry, that putting us in this monkey pants first and foremost. So it's a all hands on deck situation. Granted, yes, the rain is severe. Sometimes you could do all what you want and you can't prevent the flooding, but plenty of what's happening now in areas that never flood before, trust and believe it's man-made. All of the mountains would have been lush and green back in the day. All of a sudden, man put big mansion with pool and gate. What do you expect? Where the water going to run off? So you sometimes wonder how people get approvals to build the garbage. It's a comedy of errors that put us in this particular place with the flooding. To the point now we have to get an aluminum boat to have it in dry dock and standby, just in case now, that people can get out of the area, that they jump on the said boat to get to high ground. Interesting times. Let's head to the back page, see what's happening via sport. I don't stay too long with the sport on a Thursday, as you know. That's Ian's role and function. He's going to come in from 7:30, but I'm seeing some cyclists here. This is all part of the Tour de France. Big race. That's one you hear about for years. All right, so some action there. Out of the World Cup, we back to other things happening. You know, there's cricket, WNBA, and now the Tour de France in full swing. 36 athletes chase precious medals. Team TTO settles in Scotland. That's the Commonwealth Games, by the way. For those who might not know what's happening, yes, Commonwealth Games. Scotland, we're going to put forward our very best. Let's head to the brief on this Thursday morning. Parents celebrate daughter's SCA success amidst some real hardship after fire, floods, no electricity. The daughter would have done well. So to Andriana and her common-law husband Joseph, well done. Well done. You know, this is a great celebration for their 13-year-old daughter, who would have placed her. All right, she placed, and she went through the most. So well done to the youngster, and congrats. Candlelight, you know, the young lady had to do her studies in, you know. So under that kind of adversity to still come out shining, hey, well done. She's on her way. And hopefully with this story, the family could be given some kind of assistance. Yes? Also, I'm seeing where the students are getting a chance to see some of the names of those who would have died during the 1990 coup. It's important to teach the youngsters the history. We have a way where we try to hide our dark history, put it under a carpet. The next generation needs to know what transpired. The only way those actions will never be repeated is that you have to know it take place in the first place. But I'll pause there for now because that's a different explanation and story for a different day. Up next, our Business Guardian breakdown. Anthony steps in. Trouble in Arima. All right, and there's not Kitchener singing this. There's not the Kitchener selection. This is the reality of the moment. So let's hear from Anthony Wilson on this story and others inside today's Business Guardian.
Gaming Express Limited is a premium importer and retailer of the highest quality brand name electronics. We stock the widest range of PlayStation, Nintendo Switch, Samsung, and Apple devices and accessories. Visit us at Shop 52, Level 2, Gulf City Mall in San Fernando, or contact us by phone or WhatsApp message at 687-7480 or 301-9797 or 798-1280. Like our Facebook and Instagram pages for updates on products and services.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Magical Expressions Limited is the largest local importer and distributor of fresh cut stems, offering the widest range of beautiful flowers at the most affordable prices. Call us today at 701-6488 or visit our website to order.
Shop and save at PRW Enterprises. Get a Samsung 75-inch TV, only $8,535. PS5 console game, only $4,800. Samsung A9 tablet, $1,199. JBL soundbar, $1,968. Printers from $650. Blenori Drone X60, only $786. Party speaker box, $2,500. Call PRW today.
Some of us like to test limits, but there won't always be second chances. Obey the speed limits. Maybe you don't value your life, but others value theirs. A message from the TTPS.
Anthony Wilson joins me on the Zoom line for us to unpack what's inside the Business Guardian for today, Thursday, the 23rd of July. Anthony, good morning to you and welcome.
Morning, Jason. Good morning to your thousands of viewers and listeners. Morning.
Great to have you back, Anthony. Now, I'm looking at the headline playing on Kitchener's classic, Is Trouble in Arima. You understand? Yeah. I kind of recognize the little comparison there, but nonetheless, this is to treat with, well, employment, or I guess lack thereof, based on what I'm seeing on the front page. What's the takeaway? What's going on in Arima?
Yeah, okay, so first of all, two things. One, this is part of a series that the Guardian Media's business desk is doing, which is every week or so we go out into the communities and we try to get from the business owners their feelings about their businesses. And indirectly, we're trying to look at the economy through the eyes of business owners. We've done Tunapuna to Arangwes first. We did Shagwanas a couple weeks ago, and this time we did Arima. This is a story by Peter Christopher, member of the Guardian Media Business Desk. And he spoke to a fairly wide range of business owners, and they're saying that among their problems would be that captured as the whole issue of unemployment, that being contracts for state entities have not been renewed, so people are out of work. And then some people are simply not employed, maybe have not been employed for a while. And if you're not employed, you don't have an income, a legal income, and therefore you're not able to spend. And as a result, the economy in Arima is suffering a little bit. or maybe even quite a lot.
I'm seeing.
So that's one issue. The other issue is some of the people who spoke to Peter were telling him that people who apply for jobs do not have the requisite skills to do those jobs. And that apparently was another problem that he found when people discussed issues with him. And of course, foreign exchange availability, crime, and other issues also featured in his discussions with Arima business people.
You know, I guess going through our area, Arima, just like Chaguanas, lots of lots of vehicular traffic, lots of people moving to and through. It's I guess anywhere that's a hub where people, obviously Arima is the place where people go to get, let's say, transport, to go to Grandi, to Manzan, to Komoto, you name it, right? Just like Chaguanas, it's a hub. From the outside looking in, you see the activity, you figure, okay, there is enterprise, there is, the wheels are turning, but when you talk to people and dig a little bit deeper, you recognize that I guess there's people just in transit.
Yeah. Yeah, the deep dive is important because unless you do the deep dive, the intensive questioning, you're not going to get a real feel for the opinions and the views of business people. And those opinions and views, for the most part, were that the revenue derived from sales was down. So that is something the government needs to look at in the context of the rating agency Standard & Poor's affirming our BBB minus rating. That statement came out from the Ministry of Finance yesterday.
Well, I want to transition to your story here inside the Business Guardian. It's on page 3. And again, you ask a question. The question is, how long will our foreign reserves last? Were you able to get an answer, Anthony?
Not this time. This is an issue that I've been focusing on for over a decade. And of course, the issue of a country's foreign reserves is, in my view, very, very, very important, because without the foreign reserves, importers would not be able to buy goods and services from overseas. So that's one very major issue. And the second major issue about foreign reserves is, if you do not have the foreign reserves, you're not able to pay down your debt as and when it becomes due, which in the real world is an extremely important issue. So I think the fact that Standard & Poor's, which is one of the major rating agencies in the world, probably the most renowned rating agency in the world, the fact that they have affirmed our BBB minus rating, which is investment grade, says quite a lot about their perception of the performance of the Trinidad and Tobago economy.
You know, well, let me ask, because I know that the foreign exchange issue, it's been one for many years, but still we're seeing via the business developments, Applebee's, IHOP, massive companies, huge brands in the US, they're coming to Trinidad despite these issues. I'm trying to work out how such a big move is happening, and yet we still are going through some Forex issues.
Yeah. So I think that goes to the issue of the distribution of foreign exchange. It's clear even from the Applebee's IHOP announcement that there are some people who are able to get foreign exchange, some people who do not have a problem accessing foreign exchange. Now, that may be from their own foreign exchange savings. It may be they have access to foreign exchange from the authorized dealers, but it's clear that there are some people who are still able to get access to foreign exchange. You mentioned Applebee's and IHOP. that is a franchise arrangement that a local businessman has taken on. And franchise arrangements require a significant payment up front and then ongoing monthly or quarterly payments to maintain the franchise.
Yeah.
Sorry. And one of the issues raised in my column today is a statement by a central bank, the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, that they are looking to make foreign exchange allocation a little bit more facilitative of a wider mass of people, which is also an important move, which I guess everybody is hoping to see quite soon.
Anthony, sincere thanks as always. Have a great one. God spare. We'll touch base again next week, Thursday.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. Anthony Wilson with the Business Guardian breakdown. Up next, Edie Stewart, as we treat with this NCRHA consideration for legal action against Edie. Let's get some details and find out what's really happening with this nursing shift dilemma. See you soon.
Looking for the ultimate gaming experience? Welcome to Phase 22 Gaming Lounge, where gamers of all ages come to play, compete, and have fun. Dive into your favorite games on PlayStation, Nintendo, Xbox, or race on our high-tech racing rigs. And experience the thrill of VR with PlayStation and Meta Quest. Our lounge is safe, comfortable, and perfect for everyone. When you're done, check out the latest gaming systems, accessories, and even Samsung and Apple phones. Visit us on the second floor of Gulf City Mall or call 786-2404 to book your gaming session today. We are your one-stop, most convenient, most helpful, most caring community pharmacy. Our pharmaceutical services include dispensing medicines, repeat dispensing, clinical governance, but we also have a fully stocked convenience store featuring our refreshment aisle, grocery lane, personal care products, toys, pet supplies. We are most conveniently located out of the traffic, just 2 minutes off the highway in Heartland Plaza in Deva Shagonas. Contact us on 220-8705 or 470-5938 and visit us soon.
Textbooks, screens, late nights. Your eyes work hard through every class, exam, project, and deadline. Ferrara Optical has eyewear specifically designed to reduce eye strain so nothing holds your learning back. For a limited time, youth get a free frame with lenses from just $495. Scholars get frame and lenses starting at only $750. And lifelong learners save up to 30% off your purchase of advanced lenses like Eisen and Transitions. Less strain, more focus, your vision without limits. Visit Ferrara Optical in store today. This promotion is NLCB approved.
So the younger one complaining that the older one is the favorite one. That is pressure. Always aim to treat your children fairly and impartially and do it consistently. Each child is different and will not learn or understand the same way. Take your time in tense situations to control your emotions and reactions and be mindful of any potential favoritism. Favoritism can lead to resentment and jealousy. At the end of the day, do your best. Share if you found this useful. Like and follow CTA's profiles for more parenting tips. The letter of the day is J. Just.
The Trinidad and Tobago National Nursing Association President Edie Stewart joins me on the Zoom line. And Edie, I must say to you, thanks for the time. I look forward to our discussion this morning. Your name is calling in the papers. I mean, you know, you're not no stranger to that. But I recognize that since you would have put forward that 4-hour shift adjustment, I'm seeing a kind of back and forth, as it were, to the point where today's Guardian is reporting on page 8 that the NCRHA is considering at this point in time some legal action against your association. And, well, your goodly self. So, firstly, let me find out what's happening with this 4-hour shift, because we know when it comes to the nurses, the daylight shift is like a 7 to 3, the evenings is a 2 to 10, and the nights 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. I would have done some research on it. Is this a 4-hour additional or just a 4-hour shift outright? I'm trying to figure out this 4-hour equation. Where does this come into the mix?
Well, pleasant morning to you and your listeners.
Pleasant morning.
As the authority indicated in their press release is that they did not communicate neither to the union, neither to workers within the facility to explain the rationale behind this 4-hour shift. Even before that, it is so ironic, and it's repetitive in their public releases, that when the association puts out information that demonstrates them or puts them in a negative light, they would immediately publish that it is false and misleading, and then within their very public release, it will confirm what the association is saying. And this scenario is no different. So the first heading that someone would see, it is false, that is false and misleading. There's no such thing as a 4-hour shift. And then when you go into the document, they confirm, yes, indeed, that they have created this 4-hour shift, and it only affects a few people. So that's one, that's the first narrative. The second issue is that it appears, because as they indicated, they don't believe the need to speak to any union within the North Central Regional Health Authority, because there are no recognized majority union for monthly paid workers within the NCRHA. And it is not for want of attempting to become the recognized majority union within the NCRHA. It is because they themselves have delayed the process over a number of years. It is now 11 years we have applied to the Registration, Recognition and Certification Board to become the recognized majority union within the NCRHA. And to date, we are nowhere closer than 11 years ago. So it appears to the onlooker that it's a deliberate attempt to stall unions from becoming recognized majority unions within the NCRHA, as we have been able to do in other RHAs. So when it comes specifically to this 4-hour shift, what has been transpiring and how nursing and midwifery personnel have been disadvantaged over the years is that you have a situation where, and it's confirmed within their public release, that nurses supposed to be working 8-hour shifts. Nurses are supposed to be working 8-hour shifts. Over the years, nurses have begun to work 12-hour shifts. So somebody may work 3 12-hour shifts, 36 hours. And then there's a shortage of 4 hours, or so the authority believes, because the requirements within the public service and the state enterprises is that nurses ought not to work more than 40 hours. So there is provision for nurses to work just below the 40 hours. But in any event, when you work those 3 12-hour shifts and you make 36 hours, you are mandated now. There are other policies which speaks to the fact that you have to be given a rest day and then 2 clear days off. Now this, depending on how it is structured, could push you out over to a second week. This is generally not a major issue in most RHAs, where you won't make your full 40 hours within 1 week. You can carry it over and make it in the next week. So you may make 36 hours in this week, but 44 hours in the following week. And it will balance off over the course of a month. And we have all the text messages, we have all the rosters demonstrating that they say, no, everybody must make 40 hours in this 1 week.
So hold on, let me find out, because I know it's a 1 daylight, 2 evenings, and 2 night shifts. That's the recommendation.
No, well, there's no recommendation, and that is what makes it so difficult for our head nurses and nurse managers to make a roster. There's no stipulation, there's no policy.
Also, there's no schedule?
No, they can do as they please. So you can work fully night shift, you can work fully day shift, you can work 2 mornings, 2 evenings, one. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no maximum amount you can make. All they focus on is the hours, getting in those hours. And I said every RHA has to go through this, every hospital. But it's only the NCRHA that is having a great difficulty in managing their staffing, and it really comes down to a shortage of nursing personnel. So this is just a ripple effect of having inadequate numbers of nursing and midwifery personnel. And I saw...
So President Stewart,
I saw...
And I'll let you continue, but I'm trying to figure out why. So you're explaining this to me now, and I guess you would have also put this on the public record. But why is this particular claim of you trying to deliberately distort the facts, quote, that's what the NCRHA is claiming here, and that's why they want to proceed with legal action. They're saying that you're distorting the facts.
Well, what are the facts? Is there a 4-hour shift? Did they implement a 4-hour shift without consultation? Yes, they did. And we have the rosters. We already shared those rosters actually with a number of media houses. So the media houses can confirm that yes, a 4-hour shift. We actually send the text message sent to employees indicating that effective. Imagine this: you already have a roster laid out for the month of July. What they are doing now is creating a roster for the month of August. What they have done is actually said, look, notwithstanding you have this roster already laid out and you have already mapped out your life, because you have to work around this roster. We are not Monday to Friday workers, 8 to 4. So you have to map out, you have to see about your children and all of these things. They're saying, look, in the last week of July, we're going to change that roster and put in these 4-hour shifts to ensure you make 40 hours in a week and all of these different things. And also we'll change the whole month of August. So it has already happened. So that is not hearsay, that is not my interpretation. They have already done that. And we will look forward to producing this information if they do follow through on their veiled threat of legal lawsuit. But we would want to inform the NCRHA of one thing, that we would have, for the last, prior to April 2025, we have been articulating and lobbying on behalf of nursing and midwifery personnel throughout all RHAs. And we have focused on NCRHA because NCRHA is a unique creature. It is not properly run. It has not been properly run for decades. And the main issue was the staffing issue. So we have been having this issue. If persons remember and are truthful with themselves, they would see numerous battles with myself and the past CEO, Dalvin Thomas. And we came to some sort of agreement just before, within the last 2 years of his term, before he was moved out. But this is nothing new. We have always had issues with NCRHA, always lobbied. This is nothing personal with myself and Tim Gopi Singh. And this is an ongoing inadequate numbers of nursing and midwifery personnel operating within the NCRHA and poor management practices. That is what it comes down to. So I see they keep putting out these things every time we make a statement, as if it would silence the Nursing Association. And that is furthest from the truth. We would not be silenced. We would not be intimidated by their veiled threats of lawsuits. I know they have the vast resources of the state. And we are seeing that played out in a number of high-profile cases.
Let me ask you.
It is not their money, it is the state money, so they can take persons to court at their whims and fancies, and it would not impact on them. If they lose, well, the public, you and I, would pay through taxpayers' money. They don't have anything to lose. So we look forward to this.
President Stewart, I mean, you're in the space. You are able to read the room, and are you certain there's nothing personal? Because I'm trying to figure out every argument, counter-argument for what you are bringing to the table is being thrown at you and the association. So much so, the claim is that, and again, I'm being guided here by the Guardian, page 8, and what the NCRHA chairman would have said here. And the suggestion is that because the association election is around the corner, all this is coming up, I would imagine. I'm trying to kind of paraphrase and read between the lines. It seems to me like they're saying that you're trying to fire up the base because obviously elections around the corner and all this is coming in the public domain to create a stir, as it were. What's your counter to that particular argument?
Well, it's another ludicrous statement. Persons would have seen the association lobbying continuously for the last decade, last 11 years continuously. We have never stopped lobbying for members, so trying to reference the association elections coming up a little while off from now is really irrelevant. And it's quite laughable. And I don't even know what to say about it, because no one can indicate that we have not been continuously lobbying on behalf of nursing and midwifery personnel. We have never stopped, and we will never stop, regardless who gets into office. We will never stop. So that is just, as you know, Tim Gopi Singh was a politician. He knows how to change the narrative. He knows how to put a spin on these things. This is what politicians do. So this is no different, to change the narrative from the shortcomings of the authority. Is NCRT short staff? We have put out at the association numerous examples of how short-staffed the NCRHA is, NCRHA facilities. We have compared smaller RHAs, demonstrated sometimes they have twice the number of nursing and midwifery personnel attached to wards, units. How is it that smaller RHAs like ERHA and TRHA have more nursing and midwifery personnel covering accidents and emergencies, covering medical and surgical wards than the NCRHA facilities? That is the fact. And that is why it is incumbent on the Minister of Health. The Minister of Health, yes, Tim Gopi Singh and persons he placed here comes from the bowels of the UNC. But you have a responsibility to safeguard the quality of care for patients coming to those facilities. Yeah. And it is up to you, Dr. Lakrambodo, to do your own investigation and put out for the public to see, is the NCRHA short of nursing and midwifery personnel?
President.
Is it? Yeah.
Well, I was going to tell you that, I'm going to stick the pin there for now, but I want to thank you for the clarity this morning, for coming on in real time to explain to us what's happening, because this has been part of the cycle for the entire week, and I knew before the week was out, we would have had a chance, we was going to get a chance to touch base to not only explain to me, but to the wider audience, and I want to thank you for that. Keep us in the loop and keep fighting the good fight there, Edie Stewart. All the best.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
That's Edie Stewart there, representing the nurses. And, we're getting, I would love to probably have at some point Dr. Tim Gopi Singh or anyone from NCRH on the program too, or probably from the ministry, to really hear all sides of this particular story. But until then, it will play out, and I hope it doesn't go to court, because money going to spend, taxpayers, the thing let's go. All right, up next, Police and You, and we're going to treat with some rainy season tips. Very important. ESP Russell, he joins me next.
decades, Nagico has been a steadfast partner, enabling communities and businesses across Dutch, English, and French-speaking territories within the Caribbean and also France. Every policy we provide is a promise to help with managing the uncertainties of life. Beyond insurance, we're committed to uplifting our communities through sponsorships and initiatives. We're a people-centric, purpose-driven organization dedicated to building a brighter future.
AM Best rated us A-, excellent for financial strength.
Breaking news! Something serious is sweeping the nation. Get seriously supersized savings on textiles, home goods, and much more in Jimmy Abood's Super Serious July Sale. Shop now at Jimmy Abood in Barataria and Port of Spain.
Period nights don't have to look like this. Move less, wake up to change. So change for a real night's sleep with Always Overnight. Its 3 times protection system absorbs, locks the fluid, and keeps it away from your skin. For protected nights without leaks. Always.
Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in Trinidad and Tobago, driven by 2 silent threats, diabetes and high cholesterol. But now there's a powerful ally, introducing Berberine Plus by Asia Nutrition, clinically proven to stabilize blood sugar and keep cholesterol levels in check. With 99.9% pure extract, you get superior absorption and real results. Available now at Pennywise and leading pharmacies nationwide. Berberine Plus. Your heart deserves better.
Parents will do it, they'll go to work, have a day, bro, and come on and take that stress out on you.
Welcome to another episode of Manhood.
Everybody will do what they need to do to get what they want.
And if they can't fit in to the norms, then what they have to do, they're surviving.
Not everybody wants to kill me because I might be all kind of thing, but I think I'm a good person.
The aspect of a mentor seeing something in you that you can't see in yourself.
Check yourself, because you shaped that generation.
Are we losing in many ways the values?
Since I have this Parkinson's diagnosis, there's a group, a very small type group, who will always look after me.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your nice car get damaged bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad, I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you.
Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
ESP Russell joins me this morning, always committed to this particular segment, coming in bright and early every Thursday to treat with the important issues of the day. And we're into the rainy season. We're seeing lots of antics. We would have had Sergeant Batson on giving us some reminders, but we want to reinforce the points, and not just to treat with the road, but we're talking here general conduct as it pertains to this rainy season that's ahead. And also I want to find out towards the end, if time permits, if all is in place via the TTPS in the eventuality of any kind of occurrence with the extreme weather we're having as it pertains to flooding or worst case scenario, any major natural disaster. But we'll treat with that to the end. ESP Russell, good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Mr. Williams. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of our Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioners, Assistant Commissioners, and First and Second Division Officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, as usual, it's a pleasure being here.
Great to have you. You know what? I said I was going to treat with it to the end. You know what? Let me ask that first and we can get back into the tips. What's the TTPS in terms of your state of preparedness for any eventuality as it pertains to the weather? Because, you know, certain arms of the security apparatus will have to be out regardless.
Well, the thing about it is we have rainy season every year. So, you know, it is just tweaking of the plans that are already in place. You know, there are certain areas, once they are flooded, you need to deploy some officers because you would find persons wanting to probably relieve some motorists of their valuables in certain areas. I would not want to call any areas, but, you know, that's something we have to look out for. When you look at when school opens back, you know, we have a very serious function there as well. You know, children, the Bible talk about foolishness abideth in the heart of a child. So, you know, you have to keep that vigilance out there with respect to that as well. And these are some of why we are on these tips, because even the driving conditions, a lot of persons tend to drive the same when rain is falling as if it were dry. And then we want to encourage the drivers to take the necessary extra safety precaution. Stay off your phones.
Do you see an uptick in vehicular incidents when there is rain?
You really do see a lot more accidents when there is rain. People have to make sure that their vehicles are road ready. Your wipers, your tires. Now, we understand that tires could be a bit costly, and we understand that, but you know rainy season coming since earlier in the year. So start putting on your money to change your tires if you recognize that you would need to change your tires, because people would buy a car for hundreds of thousands of dollars, but when time for tires, many persons would want to be frugal with how much they spend, and that is the only part of your vehicle that comes in contact with the ground. You know, it's important for your traction, your wipers, it's important for visibility. Another habit we have is we tend to want to increase visibility, we put on our hazards. But you put on your hazards of going up the highway and you're about to change lane. Do you already take it off to indicate? You just change lane. So you are indeed creating another hazardous situation. What we advise motorists to do is to turn on their headlights to increase visibility, slow down, leave a wider distance, like a 4 to 6 seconds gap to the vehicle in front of you. Leave your cell phone alone. If you think the visibility is in so deplorable that you cannot see properly, pull over until the rain eases. So there are plenty of things we want the motorists to understand when it comes to rainy season.
Speaking about visibility, I'm looking at cars with the extreme dark tint G5. I know obviously it will be a challenge to see in the night, especially under rainy conditions. And then certain cars on the road that, at least from the naked eye, to me it doesn't look roadworthy. Is this inspection thing still going on? Are you all still doing checks and balances? Because I'm seeing what is deemed as illegal, unlawful, it's playing out in plain day, and I don't really see your colleagues really pulling anybody up on it, you know.
Tintometer has been, or before the law used to say vehicles shall not be tinted so dark as to obscure the view of the inside from the outside, but now the legislation has improved and we do have the tintometer machine. The thing is, not everybody has it, not everyone is trained with it. So, you know, that's why you see targeted exercise to deal with certain issues. We understand that, and even from a crime standpoint, with the heavily tinted vehicles, because we want to know who is in the vehicle. That is indeed an issue. And when I speak about the roadworthiness of some vehicles, we understand that, you know, everybody is saying the country is this hard, and a person may not be able to do all that they have to do to bring their vehicle up to grade, up to mark. In the immediate instance, it will be something that will be done over time. But how long is over time? When life pops up at you, what do? Not buy the tires because something has happened, and you continue to find another reason to not buy tires. And you go out on the road, something happened, you have to do a sudden maneuver, which is something we also discourage, especially when it's raining, sudden braking, heavy braking, sudden maneuvers. And then your vehicle picks up a skids into another vehicle. So it's a domino effect coming down the line that we want to tell persons about. However, if we have a targeted exercise, you know, what do we say? The police wicked, because we come out to share tickets to put money in the government coffers. So it's always a balancing act for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service and the law enforcement as well. We want to show some guidance and some caution to the hikers. Now that we have into the rainy season, we have a lot of yellow level weather alerts and stuff. We want to discourage persons from going and hike during those kind of weather conditions. Pay attention to the forecast before you even go to hike. I've seen people leaving their homes in the rain, in inclement weather, to go in the bush to hike. You go in there and the bush is something, the forest is something very, very strange, especially because we might think it's 4 o'clock. But all 3, 4 o'clock in the forest, it's dark already. Then you lose your sense of bearing, you lose your whereabouts. Another officer, police, fire, search and rescue, had to risk their lives to come there to take you out.
Never consider that hiking part of it, yes, because I've been caught in a hike under rain and it's very scary because, obviously conditions become slippery.
Yep.
It's way better when the weather is beautiful. Trust me. When I see rain now, trust me, I'm not going on a hike. Let me ask you.
The rivers just swell. Bang, they just come down just so.
Yeah, so
sometimes you're attempting to cross the river and it come down.
That's a good point. I never consider that. Let me ask you, ESP Russell, when it's extremely rainy, lots of rain, do you see kind of almost a toning down on criminal activities, robberies and stuff, or do bandits, regardless of the conditions, still go out there and you'll have to be on the chase?
Well, we are always out there, it's about deployment and redeployment. I wouldn't want to say uptick per se. I see a particular type of crime like snatching.
Still go on, even though
go on, right? But I would want to be guided by the statistics to answer that properly and accurately. But what we recognize, there are certain things, like in certain areas, persons will really gather to try to intimidate motorists. If you want to pass here, pay X amount of money.
Understood. Let me ask you, and this is a most random question here, but it was one I must ask. Are you all equipped with raincoats to treat with the rain? Or what's part of the uniform to treat with, we're talking extreme rain?
Many officers are equipped with raincoats, but there are many who don't have as well. I don't have one.
So you don't? So you all will more or less stay inside because of it? Because of the rain?
Well, if we have to go out there, we go out there, Mr. Williams. It's about fighting crime. And if it means that today you have to get wet in the rain, that is what we would do to make sure that the citizens are safe. But, the guard and emergency, the IATF, traffic branch, the major frontline players, a lot of them have been outfitted with raincoats.
Because I'll say this before we wrap things up. I was of the opinion that when there's heavy rain, you will never see a roadblock in Trinidad. I used to tell friends and family, them police are taking a wetting. Well, partner, last year I saw officers in raincoat, full roadblock going on, rubbing everybody down. And I was like, it's the first time I saw that in my life in Trinidad.
Yeah, it happens very often too, especially in places like the priority bus route. Because a lot of persons, when the rain falls and there's traffic, they decide to take a chance. But the traffic wardens and the transit police are usually waiting for them when they take their chances. So, we are out there. I have seen many roadblocks, going on. And it really is a surprise. You'll be like, wait, the police are out here? What?
Yeah, I see.
Sometimes you're wondering, who is in the middle of the road there? When you reach up, you recognize there's really police in the middle of the road there.
Yeah, I saw it. I said, what?
So we do work in the rain. We don't melt, we work.
All right. Well, we have heard it. You heard it yourself here. So let's do the right thing, pace ourselves, and be extra vigilant and careful during this rainy season. Next week, we treat with some more important talking points. We want to thank ESP Russell for checking in today, Thursday. All the best, officer.
Okay, thank you. Have a wonderful day, Trinidad and Tobago.
7 a.m. news update next. See you soon.
Time Check, brought to you by the Central Bank and the National Financial Literacy Program.
Good morning, I'm Doris Polo with headline news on CNC3 and the TBC Radio Network. Employees of the National Program for the Upkeep of Public Spaces are being told the administrative problem responsible for delayed payments could be resolved by the end of the week. The assurance came from Rural Development and Local Government Minister Khadija Amin during a donation of disaster relief supplies from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Amin said an administrative error mainly affecting replacement workers led to the payment delays. But for NPUB's employee Mary Ramutal, who has not been paid since May 11th, talk is cheap.
We want to fed up of this being processed and they proceed. You understand? No, we fed up. And those who get paid, they're not seeing a pay slip. Where's the pay slip to show what area, what you get paid for? When the NIS coming out, where everything, nobody, you're not seeing a pay slip. No, it's not working like that. This is not secret. Secret, you still used to see. And the lamb, you used to get your pay slip, you ain't getting nothing, yeah?
She also dismissed claims that replacement workers are the main group affected by the payment delays and demanded that all employees be paid. One of 6 fishermen on board the St. Vincent 7 has died after surviving 9 days adrift in the Atlantic. The men abandoned their burning vessel for a life raft before they were rescued by a passing tanker on Tuesday night. Authorities say another survivor's condition has deteriorated. Yesterday, relatives criticized what they described as a lack of communication during the search. Meanwhile, Fishermen and Friends of the Sea Corporate Secretary Gary Aboud described the rescue as a blessing, but said the incident exposed major gaps in regional coordination when vessels get into trouble at sea.
It highlights the critical importance of us having a synchronized regional response. There's no connection between Trinidad, Venezuela, Guyana, and Suriname, Grenada, Antigua, etc. And oftentimes when we have these type of accidents, we have to respond right away.
The 6-man crew included 4 Trinidad and Tobago nationals, a Guyanese captain, and a Vincentian fisherman. Another escaped illegal immigrant has been recaptured, bringing the total number of detainees rearrested to 7. Police say 7 others remain on the run after 14 Venezuelan nationals escaped from the Immigration Detention Center in Arepo on July 18th. Investigators say the group overpowered officers who were responding to a fire in one of the male housing units. Police Public Information Officer ASP Awi Russell says the nationwide manhunt has intensified, with officers focusing on illegal ports of entry, forested areas, and communities with large Venezuelan populations. Acting on intelligence, police went to Hilda Street in Aruca on Tuesday afternoon, where they found fugitive Edison Maltin Alcala La Rosa hiding in a galvanized structure just off the roadway. He was taken back into custody without incident. Police are urging the public to stay alert and report any sightings of the remaining escapees immediately. Stay tuned for another news update at the top of the hour and for comprehensive coverage in our midday news and major newscast at 7 p.m. on CNC3.
Step into ABC Doors and Windows, where quality meets variety. Discover premium wooden, steel panel, fiberglass, and steel security doors alongside aluminum, UPVC, and steel windows designed for strength and durability. At ABC, we're always a better choice, delivering products built to last and service you can rely on. Visit our showroom at 1 Chanka Trace, El Socorro South, or call 638-7184 to make your dream home a reality.
You can make your goals unfold, go get it. You can live your dream, join the team, let's do this. You can get the help you need to succeed with Brand Credit Union. You can believe that you can achieve big goals, small ones too. Brand Credit Union, we've got you. No more waiting, that won't do. Make someday today. One life, so make it good. Live the way you know you should. With Brand Credit Union, yes you could. Make someday today.
Live your best life today with Rand Credit Union.
behavioral change consultant Johanse IODK joins me live on set for our Mental Health Matters Thursday. And today, we're asking, what's the point? What's the point? What's the point, Johanse? What's the point? What's the point of all of this? Talk to me.
See, that is the question I think everybody should ask themselves every so often, right? I'm saying that because what's our point, right? If us, the dictionary meaning of a point is a fixed point, a fixed place in space and time that have no dimensions, meaning it can't go up, down, left, right. It's just where it is. Now, I pause in there first because many times people do things and they don't have a fixed point of it. It don't have a fixed reason why. So why are you doing this? Well, this is how others always do it. Why are you doing this? Well, this is what I see my mother and my father do. Why are you doing this? This is what everybody does do. So then you're only doing it because, and it have no exact goal. It don't have no exact finishing point. So therefore, you're feeling you kind of just wishy-washy, you're kind of just on the sea floating, you're kind of here today, going tomorrow, you're just going through a cycle and don't have any clear goals. And when you don't have that, that could lead to distress at times for many people.
But I look at it through the lens of, let's say, freedom and just being able to be like that feather in the breeze. There's some people who, I guess whatever they do, the beauty of it is that there's no point in it. They just, you're floating, you're existing, and some people who live like that, I see them, they seem to be having a hell of a ride. They seem to be having a damn good time.
Well, you see, on the external level, it looks like that, but that's not necessarily human mind work. There's always a point. Even the person who say, I wake up today, whatever happened. That have a point to it now. It still have a point in their mind, right? That will be a marker to say, I'm feeling satisfied. Now, if you unsure of that, or if you doing things that you're not necessarily in control of, you could start to feel like you don't have a point. Now, that same definition of point where there's a fixed space in time where you have no dimensions, meaning it exact, it also is a building block to create something. So even if you look like, we say we're doing maths, when you fix a point, you could put something on it. If you look at the point in a line, you do a point, you move from here to there. So it's not to say when you have a point, that's the end of it, but at least it's more precise movements so you can understand the direction you're going in life.
So point could also be looked through the lens of also purpose, like, well, what's the point? What's the purpose? It's almost like you're asking yourself a question and you need to explain to yourself what you do that for then. What's your point? What was the end goal, basically?
Right. And that happens in everyone's mind all the time based on every action you do. Even again, you look from the outside, you might think, this person has no point, but this person just floats around. No, they have a purpose there, Right? And I'm putting it that way because sometimes we even tell ourselves that, well, I ain't have no purpose. I just lazing around. But even with that, it have a purpose because lazing around still have some sort of marker in your mind. Now, I'm not making the everyday processes too serious, but it's to understand, because if you have no idea or little idea why you're doing something, it will be very stressful to even do it. And then in the process of doing it, if there's any obstruction, it could even cause you more distress. So I'm going to give an example, simple. And most people can relate to this. I'm not feeling to go to work today. Why in this job? I don't see the point. It bringing less value than the effort. All right, so that already could cause you distress. You're not understanding the point. Then you have to go through traffic. So now the traffic now causing even more distress. Then let's just say something else random, a tire blow or something. It compounded. So when you're doing something, you're not sure of the point, or you don't like the point of it, then every little thing causes even more distress.
I guess when you reach to that place of asking yourself, what's the point? You can't find an answer. What's the process to start removing yourself from this particular scenario or moment or person? Because sometimes people ask themselves that question too in a relationship. Well, what's the point? Well, why still here? And I guess that's why some folks make up their mind to exit stage left?
Most times when we ask that is because somewhere along the line, the reward is not worth the effort. And I think everybody can relate to that. Something you do and you realize, wait, now all this effort I put out to this thing or this organization or these people, it's not worth it anymore. And from the time you reach that position means you have to do some reevaluation and ask yourself what it is I really want from this relationship, organization, effort, person, whatever it is. Even sometimes I was talking to somebody about home ownership. Is like it always has something to do on our house. And somebody say, well, what's the point of all of this, boy? Because I buy this thing, I feel good about it, and then I keep putting. So the effort now, right, is not worth whatever the reward of it is. And you could apply that to anything, you know. Anytime you're not feeling to do something is because most likely your brain already analyzed it's not really worth it. Or at least not worth it anymore.
What's the point, boy? So what about folks who continuously put themselves in a scenario that there is no return on investment? There is, again, the reward nowhere close to the kind of effort you put in, and you're just there over and over. Is that like what, love? Is that something, true love? I don't know. What you call that? I don't know what's going on. I try to figure out what's the point.
Well, many times, why people, and many of us, because I myself have done it, most times it is a delusion or a lie we tell ourselves about what the reward is. So let's just say, using the simple thing again, you go into a job, you don't like the job, but you say, you know what, it paying my bills, I have some kind of responsibilities, whether it is children or otherwise, and you're telling yourself that, right? So, but the money is real. But after a while, how much money you're getting, it may not be enough. Because the thing is, if you don't like a job, you get adequately paid. Most times it could rally through. It eventually still will degrade you, but it could rally through. So you're in a job, you're not getting enough money. Let's just say now the person or the situation that you're supporting, the children misbehaving and every day are still fighting. The person are taking care of somebody and they're not appreciative. So now the reward for the effort is not there, and that is the important part. And most times when we feel in distress, it's because we're not getting reward. You know, some people don't like to hear that because they say, well, you're not supposed to do something to get something. I hear you, you know, but essentially that's not necessarily how the human brain. You're always looking for a value for the effort. That's a survival instinct. Even if it's thanks, you know, you don't have to be getting anything physical, but to do something. And people would say, I'm not doing it for anything, but thanks would be nice. And the truth is, most times you want something from what you're doing. So you could know where's the point.
You know, when you live in a society where people are moving away from some of the established norms and pillars of respect and courtesy, what's the point to maintain it, even though everybody, because again, we a place like New York, right? When I first started to go to New York on my own in my 20s, I'll go into the subway and I'm coming in with my Caribbean warmth and my sunshine, and I'm morning everybody, morning, and yes, people watching you hard, who you're talking to the point now where when I go to New York, I don't really talk to anybody again. I go in the subway, if unless somebody says something, I might say a good morning or whatever. I'll try to read the room, but generally I kind of stay to myself because I'm saying, well, what's the point?
Correct.
I try to be nice in a place where niceties, it's not accepted.
Right, and so that's a good example, because in that scenario, what you're doing may not have a point. But how some people will say, you know what, I want to force a point, which is the delusion and the lie, so that I want people to tell me back something. So now you're forcing it and causing yourself distress, and that could be for any scenario. Forcing your point also will cause you distress. So what's the point of saying good morning in certain scenarios if the reward, wherever is the reward, because everybody have a reward in the mind, is not there, then it have no point.
Yeah, I mean, I've come to the point now where if I say good morning and I don't get a response, I would have done my part. I see it as, you know what, Jason, you did your part. Whether they respond or not, well.
That's anyway, you know, Jason. Even now, let's say in this society, people say the youths and them have less manners, and you hear that narrative. Now, when I was young, if I didn't say morning, I wouldn't say the benefit, but the consequence was way worse. Now, what's the point? If somebody don't say morning, the reward or the consequence is less. So therefore, the incentive is not there. People say, well, to have manners, but then having manners, what that is worth. If you understand, and I'm not saying it not worth it, but in certain scenarios, it may not have a point.
Well, I'll let you put in the final point on what's the point.
Nation, before you do anything, understand why and what's the point you're doing it. Don't make life complicated, because even though life is not easy, it's really not that hard. Thank you for listening.
You want to say touching base yet again for our Mental Health Matters Thursday. Very impactful conversation, and we give thanks. Well, I'll tell you, we're getting you ready for the UTC's Children's Investment Starter Plan. Full details from the UTC team. Their financial advisor, Anissa Alfred Pear, joins me next.
Recession have you down? Don't lose hope. Head on down to Tire Clinic for the recession deals. Big savings with our road hazard warranty on Dunlop, Tomitoma, and Falcon tires. Available at Tire Clinic, Cuba, Chaguanas, and Plaisance Park. Tire Clinic, a tire for every need. Call 636-8973 or 636-2958.
Things don't always go as expected. Be ready with Trinry for auto, home, business and group life. Call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Huge insurance premium. Pay your premiums bit by bit with FlexiPay from Trinry. For more manageable auto, home and commercial insurance payments, call us at 800-TRIN or visit trinry.com today. Trinry. Premier insurance coverage for less.
For me, people matter most. It's the same if you hail from Moruga, where I'm from, Mount Irvin, Scarborough, or Port of Spain. As a journalist, I'm focused on building that connection between Trinidad, the region, and the world. Most importantly, I want always to use my voice as a powerful weapon to break down barriers wherever they exist. This is why we are where you are.
Attention all listeners, are you ready for the ultimate news experience? Introducing the Trinidad and Tobago Guardian, the nation's first and most subscribed newspaper. We deliver where others can't. With the widest delivery network in TNT, you can have the Guardian delivered right to your doorstep or office every single day. Take advantage of our special annual subscription offer so you can stay on top of the leading stories even when you're on the go. Sign up today. Time is running out. Inquire about our 3-month and 6-month packages as well. This season, Ask the Doctor is at a new time. It's your weekly prescription for trusted medical advice. In the Doctor's Capsule, Dr. Tilak Singh breaks down big health topics clearly and simply. Get a dose of smiles in the Kiddies Capsule as our youngest experts share health tips with heart. Explore the science behind the headlines in Medical Minds, featuring real doctors, real insight, and your questions matter. Join the open forum live and get answers straight from the source. Ask the Doctor, every Thursday at 8 p.m. only on CNC3.
This is more than just music. This is where you find the best of TNT. This is more than just a vibe. This is where Bollywood gets a twist. This is more than just energy. This is Bhangra and indie pop too. This is the mix. This is the life. Lock on or log on now. Sangeet 106.1 FM. This is authentic East Indian radio. This is us.
I'm so happy to be joined on set this morning by UTC's financial advisor, Anissa Alfred Pear. Anissa, I want to say good morning to you and thank you for the time, for being here to really explain in real time the importance of this UTC's Children Investment Starter Plan. A timely investment as we get ready to usher the new school year, couple of weeks. And we're talking here not only primary, secondary, I would imagine, to even probably early tertiary. You never know. This is a great initiative. Anissa, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you for having me.
I want to find out the importance of putting that investment into our children's future.
Well, Jason, you know, we want to plan for our children's future because we don't know down the road they may want to further their education, and education costs a lot of money. Right? They may have other life goals, right? When they want to make sure that you have something to start them off with. You know, it's more than just dollars and cents. You want to give them that opportunity, you know, to be able to afford the higher education. I mean, I don't know if you know, but it costs a lot of money depending on what they want to study, right? And then, of course, that will open up other doors where they will now be able to get better career opportunities.
Of course.
So essentially, that's why we encourage people to start investing early for their children.
And how early is early? When you say, you know, we're talking early, because I mentioned primary, I mentioned secondary, and I would imagine early tertiary. But once the investment was there from, let's say, an early phase, it will really give them that particular cushion going into the tertiary situation. So how early is early?
Actually, early is from birth.
Yeah, so that's early.
Before they could walk, yes, that early.
That early.
So, I mean, if you haven't done it yet, it's not too late. Start now, you know. Start and make sure that you're doing regular contributions to the investment so that when they do get to that age of 18, they have something to start off with. You know, I don't know how many people do that for their children, but it's really encouraged in the UTC.
And I would imagine that's what this Children's Investment Starter Plan is all about. It's a suite under the UTC umbrella.
Yes.
Walk me through what's required. How does one start?
Right. So the Children's Investment Plan, first, I'll give you a little background of what it is and how it benefits the children, right? So when you start the investment, you start with $100. And of course, you can start with more, but that's just the minimum amount, yeah? And UTC matches that with $100. So immediately you get a boost in your investment, right? Anybody can invest for the child. Auntie, uncle, godparents, anybody who has a vested interest in seeing this child move forward in the future, they can invest. And there's no amount that is too small. $20, $50, $100. Sometimes you give them gifts for their birthday. That's an opportune time for them to invest. You know, teach them the value of investing from early because you want to inculcate that habit in them so that when they get older, they can do it for themselves, and when they get a family, they can encourage their children as well.
I love the fact that it's not just the biological parents, the aunties, the uncles, the godparents. This could be a contribution from them towards the child.
Definitely.
Perfect.
Definitely.
Perfect. This goes the child. So this is till the child is. At what point the child could now take over this particular?
Usually at the age of 18.
18.
So now they're an adult, and you as the parent or the guardian or whoever would have started the account, you see that they're now responsible, and you want to hand it over to them. They can take it over.
Fantastic. Where does UTC see this particular plan is so important. I recognize you all every single time, you put lots of promotion behind it. You come out, you speak to the masses. It seems to be a real benchmark investment plan.
Yeah, definitely, because you want to build a foundation for your child, right? And you want to make sure that they're able to afford things in their future. They have goals. They want to further their education. So you want to make sure that they have that start in order to do that. So we see it as very critical.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So you mentioned godparents, aunties, uncles, anyone with a vested interest in the child could go open the account. But I know to open an account, there are certain requirements, documents that are requested. Walk me through the logistics there and what's needed and where one could open the account, the different locations.
Right, so definitely. We have 9 investment centers, and they can go to any one of those 9 investment centers. Along with that, we have a lot of agencies, so they can go to any one of our agencies. But here's the good part. If you don't have the time to go into one of those, we have UTC on board, and that's on our website. And they can do the full process from start to finish on our website at ttutc.com. So in order to start the account, you require ID, valid ID. You need a utility bill or bank statement as proof of address. And of course, you need to show proof of income. And that will come in the form of a job letter or payslip. And of course, $100. You want to start the account with $100. But as I said, that's just the minimum amount. You don't have to start with $100. You can start with much more than that if you wish.
Do you need proof of child? I know. Because do you need, because you have to put the child's name down, you're putting it in your name, I'm trying to figure out how,
Well, because the child is a minor, the account will be open in the adult's name for the child.
For the child.
Yes, and of course you need to have the child's information, full name, date of birth, where they live, and so forth.
Okay.
You have to provide those.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And I guess now is a good time because we're getting ready for the start of the school year, September, across all levels of education. So it's a great way to start and probably to have that little nest egg.
Yes.
Any closing remarks as we look to wrap things up?
Oh, definitely, Jason. The UTC is fully committed to empowering families, right? And we provide financial education, and we want to make sure that they have accessible investment options, right? So that's why we're here, offering the Children's Investment Starter Plan, which is a good nest egg, a good investment to start for your children, so that when they get to that age of 18, they have a boost at that point in time.
Well said. And the website remains ttutc.com.
That's ttutc.com.
Lots of information there. You're asking for it by name. It's the Children's Investment Starter Plan. Or as they call it. They call it CISP, right?
CISP. Yes. But Children's Investment Starter Plan, yes.
Anissa Alfred Pear, thank you so much for sharing part of the morning with me and for giving great information. Good morning to the UTC team. And what a great initiative for the youngsters to give them that nest egg, that foundation to stand firm as they get into their particular phase of life, 18 beyond. There's a little something in place to give them a boost.
Definitely.
Well said. Up next, the morning shot. Ian, he's going to step into the studio, sit on the seat, and treat with sport until 8 a.m. Ian, he's up next.
Jimmy Boo Super Serious July Sale for seriously super-sized saving. Get the year's biggest savings yet on textile, curtains, home goods, and much more. Seriously, shop the Super Serious July Sale today at Jimmy Boo in Barataria and Port of Spain.
Shop and save at PRW Enterprises. Get a Samsung 75-inch TV, only $8,535. PS5 console game, only $4,800. Samsung E9 tablet, $1,199. JBL